WND now takes great pleasure in presenting a conversation between the head of Notre Dame's Medieval Institute, the Reverend Gerald Phelan, and the eminent philosopher, Monsieur Jacques Maritain. We should like publicly to thank Father Phelan for his efforts to help us secure this feature for our listeners. The questions which Monsieur Maritain will discuss have been drawn up by a number of the students and are of general interest. We now present Father Phelan.
Jacques, some of the young men on the campus are curious to know whether you'd care to express an opinion, a general opinion, on the American student as such.
I esteem and like very much the American student, and I have high appreciation for him. I love the freshness, the goodwill, the genuine desire for knowledge, the natural intelligence and modesty, absence of cynicism, which I find in most of the American students. Now, if it comes to the less favorable aspect, I would say that perhaps there is in them too much docility, a certain lack of confidence in their own insight, and it seems to me that they practice a little too much the maxim, take it easy. And of course, for the French students, it is a kind of duty to antagonize their professors, their teachers. I would not wish the same attitude from the American students, but I would wish more critical mind and more anxiety.
Well, do you think there is any particular great contribution that scholastic philosophy, such as you've been defending it all your life, can make to the present day thought in America?
What you and I call scholastic philosophy is, I think, only a genuine philosophy. Now, as to the contribution it can make to the present day, it seems to me first that this scholastic or genuine philosophy can teach our contemporaries to think as men, not to behave in the realm of thought in the manner of clever animals. I mean, through affective reaction to stimuli and through mere adjustment to the environment. And second, scholastic philosophy may awaken in the minds love for wisdom, and third, above all, it can develop a Christian philosophy able to answer the modern problems.
Well, the boys here have been curious about Cardinal Stewart. He's been said to have made the statement that in another generation, France will again be the eldest daughter of the Church. What could he have meant by that, and what do you think about that problem?
I don't remember these words ascribed to Cardinal Stewart. As far as I remember, I think that Pius XI said something like that about the future destinies of France. Now I am neither a cardinal nor a pope, and I would not like to dare to make any prophecy. I would only say that there is in French Catholics a powerful apostolic and evangelic activity, a great missionary effort to spread the Christian leaven everywhere, and a sense of responsibility with respect to the non-Christian people. All that can ground a very great hope, but I think that the result is only in the hands of God.
Well, suppose me to ask you another question, now this time with respect to the political situation. What do you think of the notion of the United States of Europe that some people have been talking about? And do you think that the Schuman plan at all would aid in obtaining any such result of the United States of Europe?
I think that the European Federation is a most necessary and salutary notion. European federation, European unity is, in my opinion, simply indispensable for the future of civilization, of Western civilization. And I consider it as a germ or a preparation for a future world federation. As to the Schuman plan, I am convinced it will surely aid in preparing a European federation. And what I like so much in this plan is that it appears to me as the first realization of a supranational authority.
Another one on the political level, this time in line with many of the things that you've written and talked about in public. What do you think of the significance of the new state of Israel in the light of the Jewish problem that you've so often discussed?
I think that the new state of Israel has a significance both momentous and obscure. I think that the state of Israel has been an historical necessity, and in my opinion we must support it and think of it in the perspective of St. Paul's teaching and in the hope of a future reconciliation between the synagogue and the church. No doubt for the time being it implies a certain danger of nationalism, but I hope that this danger will be overcome if the sense of spiritual problems develops in Jewish consciousness.
Well, that's very enlightening. I'm sure that the young men on the campus will be awfully glad to hear you talk like that. There has been a question around the campus for some time about the need of positive law in the world. And do you think if man were still in a state of original justice, that positive law would still be needed? Would there have to be a government of some kind, even if man had not fallen from the state of grace?
Oh, as far as I remember the Summa Theologica, I think that Thomas Aquinas teaches that in the state of original justice there was no slavery, but there was if man had continued to live in this state, there would continue to exist political authority. And if there is political authority, there is, of course, by the same token, positive law. Therefore, I think that the answer is already given by Thomas Aquinas.
Oh, no, thank you very much, Jacques. That's wonderful to you get such an interview from you on all these particular questions. I'm just wondering if, before we close this interview with you, that you would have any special message for the Notre Dame students.
You see, dear Dr. Phelan, it seems to me it is only to answer to your questions, we have only to bring out what is contained in the very expression Notre Dame students. The word students means study intent on knowledge of truth, and Notre Dame students means that their work is pursued under the auspices and guidance of Our Lady. They are the intellectual knights of Our Lady. Therefore, I would say that their mission is to give testimony to Christian intelligence, not only in their college years, but all through their life.